What is up, Renaissance crew? I am Devon davinci, and you're watching Ask davinci. Now, I told you guys in the past that if you want to ask me questions, all you gotta do is leave a hashtag Ask davinci, and inside of your comment, if you have a more personal question, you can always send it to my email, or you can direct message me on Twitter. You can find my Twitter in the description box down below, and my email is dtproductions2k@gmail.com. So if you want to send me a personal email or something like that, a question you want to keep anonymous, then send it to one of them areas. If you have any other things, you can always leave it in the comment section. Like I said, just make sure you leave hashtag AskDavinci. Now, the first question that I got on my channel, let's see, I'm trying to read out. It says, I guess the question of this question was given to me by J Hopkins, and it says, do you feel that Carlin's approach was too dark in the people that ought to be killed video? No, I don't. If it seemed like it was, I mean, I was just having fun with it. It was a joke. I understand that he's joking. It was funny how creative he got with how dark some of his references for killing people were. But that's just how it is. Also, I wanted to address, a long time ago, I did a reaction to a video from Bill Burr. It was either Reasons Not to Hit a Woman, or it was the one about gold diggers. And in it, he made a joke about, well, a girl can chop a dude's dick off and it's considered a joke and people laugh at it, but if you chop off a girl's titty and throw it in the dryer, everybody looks at you like as a serial killer. And in the video, I did give like a noticeable wince, like when he said that. Now, I just wanted to clarify some stuff, because some people think that I was agreeing with him in some way, like subconsciously I was agreeing with what he was saying. No. What I was wincing at wasn't the fact that, like, oh, well, that's some serial killer shit, why would you do it? I was wincing over the fact that, like, that's weird. Why the hell would you chop off one specific titty and specifically throw it in a dryer? Like that, it just seemed so random to me. I was like, okay, like this left titty pisses me off. Where do I need to put this thing? Somewhere in the trash can? No. Throw it outside the window? Nah. The dryer? Yeah. Like, that was the weird thing. Like, and then you got this dried up shriveled titty in the dryer. Like, it kind of threw me off. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Okay. Next question. This one's done by Reggie. It says, have you ever been treated differently on the phone after you told them your name? Like if you've been booking a hotel or something. My family's heard the tone difference after we said it's for Reggie, Yvonne, and Reggie Jr. Then they look confused when we walk in. Reggie, I'm guessing you're white, which is unique for a name like that, Reggie and Yvonne. But no, I haven't. I've never, I've never also, like, made reservations for something. Or at least I don't think I have. Yeah, I haven't. So I haven't had an opportunity to try to experience something like that. Something funny about me is people usually just get my name wrong. My name is Devon, but because of how it's spelled, they call me Devon a lot. So no, I've never had people treat me differently after I've told them my name, but I've had people call me something different after I've corrected them on my name, because my name ain't Devon, it's Devon. Anyway, okay, next one. Can you react to George Carlin's euphemisms? You hashtagged wrong. That goes under davinci reacts. Hashtag davinci reacts. If you have a reaction that you want to request, then put hashtag davinci reacts. If you have a question, it's hashtag askdavinci. But sure, why not? I'll go ahead and throw that on the list. Normally I would have just thrown this thought out because you did it wrong, but whatever. I'll go ahead and look at it. I will tackle a lot more of George Carlin stuff, as well as Bill Burr and a lot of other comedians that I've reacted to in the past. It's just usually I like to give it a little bit of space in between. I don't want to, I'm just going to say it, I don't want to blow my load on one comedian all at once. So I like to sprinkle it in every once in a while. So you will see more George Carlin. Just I might give it a little bit of, maybe a week or so before I go back into it. Give other comedians a chance to get reacted to. Okay, Ask DaVinci. Okay, so it looks like he's giving me either or questions. So the first one, remember the Titans or Friday Night Lights? Considering I've never seen Friday Night Lights, that is an easy answer. Remember the Titans. South Park or Family Guy? Okay, that's a tough one. Now, I feel like Family Guy is more consistent with its comedy, but South Park, when they're right with their comedy, it's a greater, like, it's of greater value, but they're not constantly at that level. So like Family Guy is just this line that just constantly like just does its own thing, but then South Park is like down a little, then up, then down and up. So damn, I don't know. I can take either one, but if I had like one channel that my TV was stuck on between Comedy Central and whatever Family Guy pops up on TBS, Cartoon Network, I'd probably go with Family Guy. Even though I enjoy the hell out of South Park, I'd probably go with Family Guy. Alright, he has another either or. Metallica or ACDC? I haven't gotten deep into either one, so I can't really say for sure. But from what the little I've heard from either one of them, I would go with Metallica because I've only got one of their songs on my playlist, and that is of course Enter the Sandman, and that is one of my favorite workout songs, so I will go with Metallica. And last one, Biggie or Tupac? Me personally, I will go with Tupac. I'm a fan of lyricism. Biggie's a lyricist as well, but he's more laid back and relaxed. Whereas Tupac, especially early Tupac, not so much later Tupac, but more early Tupac, he was a lot more socially aware and conscious with his raps and things like that. So I'm more of a fan of that. I'm not really a fan of... I'm gonna say something controversial right now. There's a reason why I'm not a fan of rap. Now, the reason why I'm not a fan of rap in general is because, or at least like gangster rap, or the way rap has gone since the early 90s to now, it tends to like perpetuate more negative stereotypes when it comes to like black people. And I think that because the rappers you see on TV nowadays, they represent the black people to the rest of the world. This is what people in Asia and Europe and things like that see when they're like, they're the representations of what they see as black people. So when you see on TV these guys talking about like bullshit about women and, you know, like shooting people and selling drugs and this, that, and the other, and they're like promoting that stuff, then as far as I'm concerned, the people you see doing that, all the people talking about lean and, you know, Percocets and like pills and everything else, and they're promoting that shit, as far as I'm concerned, they're the ultimate Uncle Toms. Like, you're literally perpetuating what racist people describe black people as, and you're just going out there just chucking and jiving and, yeah, this is exactly what I am. And I know a lot of people like to pretend like, oh no, this is where I grew up, this is the way I was raised, and I had to live this life, and I'm just telling them my life in the streets. No, the fuck you're not, because at one point that was true. Like the 90s and stuff like that, people were telling their stories. This is what they grew up in. They're just telling their stories. They didn't promote it. They just told that this is what we go through. Like, they were just drawing awareness to the situation. Now, at some point, people, because I guess people have this idea of being a victim as being cool, it's like, okay, well, I want to live that lifestyle. I want to be somebody that's struggling too, because you were struggling, and I think that's cool. So now you got all these people that never grew up in that life that are trying to get themselves into that life. Like, the whole point of the hood and stuff is to try to get out. Like, there are people that work their ass off to get out of the hood. The hood is what the government and stuff instilled, like, put us in. These were, you know, through redlining and things like that, these were areas that we were put in, you know, to separate us from, you know, other more valuable people. So now we're showing that we have that value also, and we can live in the suburbs and, you know, things like that, and we are worthy of that stuff. But then now you got people that, like, let's say my parents, they grew up in the hood, but they worked their way to get out of the hood. So now their kids and stuff can live a normal life, like they have all the opportunities that other races have. And now, because your kid, let's say their grandkid or something like that, now they see the hood on TV and like in rap videos and stuff like that. And now they want to be in that lifestyle. So now they're going back to the hood. They're getting a house in the hood. They want to live in the hood. They want to be a part of that life. Like, oh, if you want to be real, if you want to be a real nigga, you gotta go to the hood and live that lifestyle. Now, what they don't realize what they're doing is now you're trapping yourself back in the hood after your parents fought so hard to get out of that trap. Now you're walking right back into it. So now you have kids, they're growing up in the hood again, and it's not until somebody decides, you know what, I need to break that chain before y'all actually get out again. So, like I said, like rap as a whole, I have no problem with rap. I have no problem with hip hop. Hip hop is a culture, rap is a genre of music. I have no problem with rap. I have a problem with a lot of, especially like the newer rappers, promoting negative stereotypes and trying to influence kids to be like this when we're fighting our ass off to try to get away from those negative stereotypes. So that's my opinion about it. Like I said, I have no problem with Biggie and Tupac. I appreciate the hell out of what both of them did for music and things like that. And if I have to choose, I'm gonna choose Tupac because, like I said, his earlier stuff was a lot more conscious and aware, and the dude had a lot of sense. He just fell into a bad crowd, and it was just negative influences around him that led him down to the path that he eventually ended up. But I mean, the dude was one of the most socially conscious people I've ever known. All right, what's the next question? Colin was a philosopher, man. Okay, this is NDJ. It says, how do you feel about people using or not using the turn signals in cars in traffic, or using both of them when stopped for a while? I will probably, I can't say for sure, but I will probably never do a live stream or something while I'm in my car. And there's a reason for that, because I'm trying to project myself as something positive. So every time I record my videos, I make sure that my hair is moisturized and picked out. I try to make sure that, you know, I got my teeth brushed, I got my you know, lotion and everything else together, because I want to present myself as, you know, as positively as I can. That goes also for driving, because I am one of the quickest people that will cuss somebody the hell out in my car. And I hate when people use turn signals after they have already made a stop. A turn signal is to let me know that you're about to stop. Do not hit your brakes, get ready to make a turn, and then turn your turn signal on and turn. That pisses me the fuck off so bad. I also get mad at games. I'm not a rage quitter, because I don't stop. I don't usually stop, but I will get mad as hell when I play games. I normally can control it in certain situations, but if it's really extreme, I will get mad. The worst I've ever done is throw a controller, but I'm always like conscious of where I'm throwing the controller. I'll get mad and this fucking game is fucking stupid, and then grab the controller and throw it on the bed or something. Like I'm aware of what I'm doing. I'm one of them type of people that get mad and fucking go over and knock over a fucking pile of plastic cups and god damn it and throw napkins and shit. Like, I get mad, but I'm aware of what I'm doing. Okay, next question by Robert Emerson. If I ever meet you, can I pet your hair? No. And here's why no. You guys don't realize this, but it takes me at least an hour to get my goddamn hair to be in the position that it's in now. Moisturizing is not fun, trying to split your hair and go to the root and, you know, separating it and all this other stuff, and then you pick it out and then you gotta mat it down so it has the shape that it has, and for somebody to come in and just touch it and then mess it up, and then I gotta pick it out and mat it, and no. do not touch my hair. Now, I'm not somebody that's gonna come up to you and just like punch you in the nose or some shit because you didn't touch my hair. But if you want to be a fan of mine, it's not a good step to take, because now I'm keeping my distance from you. Like, yeah, I'm not fucking with that person. So if you can, try not to hold back that impulse. All right, Richard Dawkins coined the word meme. That's the guy's username, and the username is true. How do you keep your afro so perfectly round? Like, how is this physically possible? I think that is a more of a joking question, but I did already answer that. Moisturize it. For anybody that wants to know, I'm not sponsored by these people, but this is the moisturizer that I use. You take a comb that has like a long pick at the end of it, and you just split your hair, get down to the root, spray it, rub it in, use like a wider tooth comb and just comb it out. And then after you've done that for your whole head, then you take a regular afro pick and just pick it out, make it stand up. And then once it's all out and standing up, my hair is longer than this, but it doesn't look as like shaped. When it's picked out, it's just like random. So I'll mat it down a little bit so it takes the shape of, you know, something. There are people out there with way better afros than mine, but this afro, I did put a lot of work in. And here's another little heads up you guys don't know. This afro is not permanent. I do plan on getting my hair twisted up at some point. It's just I want to bypass that awkward looking SoundCloud rapper look where you got the small like dread look. I want to skip past that and just go straight to longer dreads. And the reason why I want dreads is because to me it's about history and heritage. Like, I like the idea of like paying homage to my roots, you know, as a black person, things like that. I like dreads and afros and things like that because I'm a big fan of black history. I think I told you guys this already. When I was like 5-6 years old, I had like all the black history pioneers like stapled up on my wall. Like, a lot of people would have like their favorite musician or something like that on their wall, and you come in my room and I'll have like printed out pictures of Harriet Tubman and Charles Drew and Garrett Morgan and Sojourner Truth, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Mary McLeod Bethune, like all of them on my wall, just everywhere. That was me as a kid. Eventually I had to take them down because I noticed that all of them were dead and I was scared. So after a while I noticed like I got all these dead people hanging on my wall and they just look, none of them are smiling, they're just like looking. So after a while it just felt like being in a haunted house. So I was like, okay, I'll take these down and put them somewhere else. Okay, and last question for today. Top 5 comics. That is tough because I don't really read comics a lot. The only comics that I've actually read are like digital comics. I still have a couple copies of when DC reset the comic series with their whole New Action 52 series. I do have a first edition copy of Superman and the Justice League for that, for those storylines. I held on to them just in case they were valuable. So I do have them locked up somewhere still like in mint condition. Now, as far as the comics I've read, I haven't read a lot of comics. So I've read the Infinity Infinity Earth storyline from DC. So there's that. I read this weird comic from X-Men, and it was like they went through time, and I remember that like Storm was like a slave, and the White Queen, she was like a plantation owner or some shit, and it was weird. It was like in the 1800s or something, and I don't know what the story was, or if it was part of like a longer storyline, or if it was just like a one-off comic. I had one of those, I remember that. I bought all of the Mortal Kombat X comic books before that game came out. I bought all the digital versions of that, so I've read the entire series of that. But as far as it's concerned, I haven't really read a lot of comic books. I want to try to, at some point, I want to try to read the Killing Joke and the Dark Knight Rises, or not Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight, what the hell was the Frank Miller one? You know, the ones where Batman fought Superman. I want to read Death of Superman at some point. I want to get all the like iconic storylines taken care of. Civil War with Marvel. I heard they got a second one. That would be interesting to get into. But yeah, so I'm not really too deep in comic books, but I would like to at some point get into it. Comic books I always saw as like something you had to invest in. Like, you can't just buy one comic book and think you're up to speed with the story. You got to buy the entire story arc. And then I never really knew where to begin, because at the time I didn't know anything about story arcs. I just knew that comics, I thought that comics like from the fucking 30s all the way here had like one storyline, and you had to like, I didn't know where to start. So that's the reason why I wasn't into comics growing up. But yeah, like I said, I like to get into it. I like to make comics. At some point, I'm gonna start doing illustrations and things, and I will like to get into comic book creation. I just don't feel confident in my drawing abilities. That's why I'm doing my drawing videos, so I can get better. I'm just constantly drawing to slowly get better over time. And well, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any more questions for me, be sure to hit that hashtag askdavinci. Very important, Ask Da Vinci, not Da Vinci Reacts. Hashtag Ask Da Vinci. And I will go ahead and answer your questions on a future video. So that's been this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and leave them comments down below and questions down below. I am the original Renaissance man, Devon Da Vinci, signing out. Deuces.